Almost every day, people can see obviously ill-maintained and derelict vehicles on city streets and rural roads, smoke belchers and rust buckets. Almost every week, we hear reports of accidents involving vehicles that allegedly had mechanical failures or defective taillights or brake lights. All these point to one singular failure of government agencies governing motor vehicles and land transport: to institute an effective motor vehicle inspection system. The present government is moving to authorize qualified present entities to conduct inspection of vehicles and certify them as roadworthy as a requirement for renewal of registration. Motoring Forum discusses this topic in this edition of Motoring Today.
The government is moving to privatize the implementation of a motor vehicle inspection system. The idea to privatize the MVIS has long been proposed after it became clear that the handful of government's own motor vehicle inspection centers, which never truly became operational, or when operational, were never effective in ensuring that only roadworthy vehicles get to be registered or get its registration renewed periodically. But it is only under the Duterte administration that the idea got traction and concrete initiatives undertaken to see to its implementation. Recently, news reports said that Department Order No. 2018-19 has been issued that sets guidelines for the accreditation for privately owned and operated motor vehicle inspection centers. According to the DO, the Department of Transportation will grant authority to Filipino natural and juridical persons or entities to conduct the MVIS testing as a requirement for renewal of registration, which shall be valid for a period of 5 years from the issuance of an authorization certificate and renewable for another 5 years. Reports also said the order also sets standards for financial capacity and track record for vehicle inspection that any would-be private inspection center must meet in order to be accredited. There will be 3 classes of inspection centers: one to service light-duty vehicles, another to service motorcycles. The third is a mobile center that can move from place to place to serve vehicles in remote areas. Even before the news reports of the DO on the privatization of vehicle inspection centers came out, DOTR officials have in various forums revealed plans to implement such a policy while explaining the benefits for getting the private sector involved in motor vehicle inspection and issuance of certification of roadworthiness.
Hindi na po gobyerno yung magpapatakbo ng mga motor vehicle inspection centers, but we will be having privately run motor vehicle inspection centers. Wala na pong pipila dahil kukulang yung motor vehicle inspection centers natin. Wala na rin pong korupsyon. Yun po yung kailangan nating i-address. Walang pila, walang korupsyon dahil kapag may pila, andyan yung opportunity na may fixer. So we're trying to address that through this privatization of motor vehicle inspection centers.
The government is right in saying that the privatization of motor vehicle inspection centers have many benefits. These include the obvious benefit that government will no longer have to spend for testing equipment, the hiring of people to man the equipment, or even the leasing of land, offices, or property on which centers will be established. This cost will be shouldered by the private sector. Arguably, the private sector should be more efficient in operating the centers than if they were left in government hands. While competition, if government allows this to happen, should breed even more efficiency. Less obvious is government's belief that MVIS in private hands should be immune to corruption. But to be sure, if there are pros to privatization, there are cons. Cons include doubts and misgivings on whether a vehicle inspection system in private hands can ensure that only truly roadworthy vehicles get certificated. There is also doubt on whether privately owned and operated vehicle inspection centers are really immune to corruption. Doubters and pessimists among us point to the sad experience with drug testing centers for drivers seeking to get new or renewed licenses. They are mostly seen as cash cows for those who got the connections to set up shop near the Land Transportation Office District or satellite offices. Many aren't even sure if the urine samples collected get to even be tested. Then there's the experience with privately owned and operated vehicle emission centers. The complaints or reports of non-appearance of vehicles passing emission tests may be anecdotal, but many believe this to happen. And there are first-hand, second-hand, and third-hand talk of emission centers offering to help out vehicle owners who initially failed the tests to somehow pass it on the second try. Some observers are now beginning to question how the DOTR and the LTO would select the private entities who would be certified to certify the roadworthiness of vehicles up for registration renewal. Despite the doubts and misgivings, there are many who support the initiative to get the private sector involved in the motor vehicle inspection system. This answers the need to quickly put in place an MVIS that rids the streets of unroadworthy, unsafe, polluting, and unsightly motor vehicles. They're putting their trust in the present administration that it has set guidelines to ensure the selection process is above board and that those chosen have the financial capacity and technical ability to inspect and ensure the roadworthiness of vehicles. Some even argue that there are already a sector in the automotive industry that has both the financial capacity and track record for inspection and certification for roadworthiness of vehicles. This sector includes the network of service centers of automobile and motorcycle manufacturers and distributors all throughout the country, giving this network of service centers, regardless of brand or market share, the authority to certify the roadworthiness of vehicles should be easy to facilitate. Another sector that government could encourage to be part of the privatized MVIS is the network of gasoline stations of big and medium-sized oil companies. These networks of stations come with vehicle service centers that now offer, in essence, a vehicle inspection system to check that vehicles are in good running condition, from the engine and powertrain to the brake system, windshield wipers, tires, headlights, taillights, and brake lights, etc. A privatized motor vehicle inspection system with credibility, financial capacity, and track record is already in place. Government should do well to encourage and give incentives to this group to become part of the private sector vehicle inspection system.
With proper and strictly implemented guidelines as well as strict oversight assessment over operations, the privatization of the motor vehicle inspection system should go a long way toward ensuring only roadworthy vehicles are on the streets, making them safe for all motorists and pedestrians, as well as helping limit the effect of vehicle emissions on the air quality in urban or even rural areas. And that's it for Motoring Today's Motoring Forum, courtesy of Suzuki Philippines.
I'm gonna miss you.
I'll miss you too.
So, why are you back?
I didn't want to miss you.